No time for intros today. No bloody time. What are we wasting time for? What are we doing? What are we doing? What do you want from me? Good, nearly afternoon for me, but for now, good morning. Good to see you. Good to see you. Thanks for jumping in. Gonna be a very short stream today. I'm not fucking happy, I'll tell you that. I'm gonna tell you, not in the greatest mood. I came back to, well, first of all, I went to see a movie last night. I'll let you speculate on what movie that is for a moment. But anyway, it was just, I had a good time. I came back, went to sleep, woke up this morning, got ready to begin the stream, and what do I see but a big crack in my headset. I've got the PS5 Pulse headset, I believe. I've quite enjoyed it for a long time, a couple of years, but not long enough to justify a crack, especially considering how well I take care of it. And now it looks and feels absolutely fucking terrible on my head, but what can you do? They are not particularly cheap, so I am not particularly happy, but what can you do? Try SteelSeries? Yeah, I think I'm gonna look at something different this time because I read a bunch of reviews for the Pulse, and it turns out this plastic cracking thing is pretty common. The way I'm hearing you, Panda, is I currently have about 17 layers of tape around it to keep it from being completely disfigured. But yeah, pretty annoying. So I'm gonna have to go hunting today for something that's just as good or better for hopefully maybe a similar price range. Is it a Raven situation? I don't really know. I came back and the headset was broken, so I don't really know. Maybe I have no idea. I take pretty good care of my belongings, so I'm not really sure what happened. I read a bunch of reviews, and apparently it's pretty common with this headset to crack on the plastic outer layer, the actual headband, because they don't have a metal thing to support it or something like that, which is pretty crazy. But I don't think it was Raven. I think what probably happened was when I finished doing what I was doing yesterday, I took it off and it probably snapped without me realizing. And then I've put it down and come back the next day only to realize that it's broken. But yeah, I watched Deadpool and Wolverine last night. Now, I haven't watched an MCU movie in a very long time. I think the last MCU movie that I watched in cinemas was Captain America Civil War, I think. And I quite enjoyed that back in the day, but I wasn't even up to date then, and I haven't watched like anything beyond that, I don't think, in the actual MCU. Man, did this stream notification get sent to nobody? What is going on here? I don't think it did. It did. I guess not. Jesus. It's so strange. Ever since, I'm telling you, ever since Partner. Very weird. Anyway, to the three of us here, I watched what you call it? Deadpool Wolverine. I thought it was pretty good. There's like obviously a lot of stuff that completely flew over my head because I haven't caught up with the MCU at all. But overall, I thought it was actually pretty damn good. It was pretty fun. I won't talk spoilers because I know a lot of people haven't seen it yet. But one thing that I was surprised by was it actually felt like a very, very comic booky movie in terms of like I don't know. It felt like as much of a Deadpool comic as you could get out of a movie almost. And I'm not talking about like the real emotional sort of like sometimes you get a Deadpool comic that goes a little bit deeper than your usual stuff, but this was just kind of like a day in the life Deadpool kind of comic. I feel like, where it's just wacky thing after wacky thing after wacky thing. It was pretty good. I enjoyed it. I think the plot was basically there to facilitate a bunch of set pieces, which is, I mean, at least the set pieces were fun. It just like, Bruce. I don't know, the plot felt like totally inconsequential a lot of the time, but Jesus,
do not
Josh,
spoil the Dead Man movie or I will ban you from your own stream.
I won't spoil it. I'm just saying vague statements. I promise. I would never risk our 45-month relationship. Thank you very much, Josh. Appreciate you, fella. Yeah, a bit of a cameo fest, but again, I don't know what it was. Maybe it's because I haven't watched an MCU movie in a really long time, so I haven't had superhero fatigue at all. But yeah, I was just kind of enjoying it the whole way through. Like, I wasn't taking the plot mega serious. I haven't seen any of the TV shows or anything, which I think you need to see to kind of understand some of the main elements, but I just had a good time with it, honestly. I think it was pretty fun. Hey, thanks for the oil up there, balls. But yeah, well, there's not much I can say without spoiling, but just, I think it was pretty good. I think it was fun. I don't think it really... I've seen quite a lot of people talk about it being kind of like a return to form for the MCU, and I think the movie was definitely treating itself that way as well. Made a lot of jokes about the MCU being at a low point, and I think it was kind of talking about itself as if this was like a major turning point, like we're getting back to the good stuff. It didn't feel like that kind of movie for me, and again, I can't really talk because I haven't seen majority of the MCU, but by the end of the movie, I feel like it hasn't really changed anything.
Did you check out the new animated Batman show? I saw the first episode and thought it was interesting. Looks like a low-tech Batman with a similar tone to the 2022 movie.
No, I haven't checked it out yet. I will, though, at some point. Probably in 5 or so years. Thanks for the 100 bits, man. Appreciate you, Dom. Yeah, I don't know. It just kind of felt like most of the things that happened in the plot weren't super impactful or anything like that, especially with a certain thing that happens at the end. But it didn't make it really any less fun for me because there was just a lot of notable set pieces and stuff that just felt sort of just fun in general to watch, even if it was just superhero movie slop, I suppose. But I don't think it was slop. I'm not being like, I'm not disparaging it. I think it was actually fun to watch. This felt like the most connected and impactful film in the MCU since Phase 3. Oh my god, the MCU has to be doing worse than I thought then. I thought that, like, yeah, the most recent movies and TV shows were kind of, like, so-so and just thrown together, but plot-wise, like, I don't know, this didn't seem to move anything forward at all, but again, I'm not up to date, so... Overall, I just think it was fun to watch. I wasn't really thinking too much about it. I just sat down and had a good time, and I have no complaints. I was like... I think, It was a super, like, inconsistent movie in terms of how it looked. Like, a lot of the time, I think it looked kind of, like, the color palette.
That opening sequence has been in my head for the past week. I loved the more so isolated story.
Yeah, I liked it. I liked the opening sequence as well. Thanks for the 100 bits there, Lemons. God, I can't wake up properly. Yeah, no, I don't know. It was like, a lot of the time I was wishing that it looked a little better, just in terms of, like, it was very washed out a lot of the time, and also just the way that it was shot sometimes was kind of like, I don't know, just not the most... It went from, like, big budget Hollywood movie sometimes to almost looking like a scene out of Power Rangers. Just sometimes, like, it kind of bounced back and forth between that. But, man, I didn't really have any complaints. This is just me trying to pick it apart. But honestly, you sit down, it was like getting on a roller coaster, basically, and just, kind of mindless fun, you know? Power Rangers is awesome. Yeah, but you know what I mean. It's not Hollywood movie quality. Sometimes it would, like, hover into that territory. I just, like... It's a goddamn Deadpool movie, you know? Like, I just went in there and was like, alright, let's see what happens. And I had a better time than I was expecting, honestly. And I was expecting to have a good time, because it's Deadpool and fucking Wolverine. It's literally Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. Like, how can you not have a good time, right? And that's the nostalgia bait that I'm looking for. I did have a giggle. I actually thought that the humor was pretty good. It had some misses. Like, you could... It was actually interesting. The theater we were in was pretty much fully packed. And different jokes were working for different people to different degrees, for sure. There was, like, different crowds of people in the theater that were getting a kick out of different parts, which was interesting. I think you can... I think you can definitely tell in the writing that it was really, like, it was a little loose in some parts, like some of the dialogue, and I know that it is self-aware about exposition dumps and stuff like that, but it did enough to keep itself together, you know? It was pretty good. The problem with modern MCU is there's too much stuff releasing where it feels almost unrealistic to watch them all. I'm just picking and choosing what I want to watch. To keep up with, like, especially the TV show element, like, I just don't have the time or the want. But if, I mean, I, like, call it nostalgia bait or whatever, but I really wanted to see Hugh Jackman as Wolverine again. That was, like, the main draw for me. And I always liked to see Deadpool and Wolverine together in any capacity outside of the movies as well. So it's just cool to see that actually realized for once in an actual main movie, you know? Should I be worried that it says 0 death in a Just Chatting stream? No, that should be the norm. Nobody should be dying here. Just want to see Deadpool and Spider-Man now. I mean, look, with all the excuses and stuff they have to just bring anybody into anything with all of this multiverse variant stuff, which I barely understand because I haven't seen a lot of the stuff where that kind of was introduced, but it's very comic booky. Like in the comics, most of the time anyone can just pop up anywhere. People don't really die. We were talking about this the other day. It just seems like the MCU has finally got all the comic excuses embedded into the franchise now. Like, you couldn't have done this back around the time that, like, Iron Man 3 came out, right? Like, it just wouldn't have made sense. But now they've instilled all of the comic book excuses into the movie franchise, so you can just pretty much do anything. Like, I'm not gonna spoil people that are in the Deadpool movie, but, like, man, you can really just bring anyone in, and it can just work now. Do I think that's a good thing? Probably not. Like, one thing that I will say is, as fun as it was to see certain characters and see certain scenarios play out, never have I felt like the characters were in less danger. Like, nobody dying really matters anymore. They try and make it emotional sometimes, and it kind of falls flat a little bit because, I mean, it's just, as soon as there's like 1,000 infinite versions of a character or something that can just, like, replace another at any time, you know, it's a little
Imagine
thin.
Imagine Deadpool and Spider-Man team up to stop the wall.
Thanks for the 100, Dom. I don't know, man. I'll probably go watch it, but I wouldn't mind Afraid of Women. I wouldn't mind seeing the whole universe just get rebooted at the end of whatever this is building up to. And we can just get it a little bit simpler and a little bit tighter again, I think might be kind of cool. The universes die. That's what is supposed to be the stakes. If the universe dies, anyone can die. I know, but it's just like...
APE.
I don't know. It's like, in a street level story, right? It's like, you've got Spider-Man and you've got Peter Parker and Uncle Ben, and it's like, when Uncle Ben dies, that's like a thing, right? As soon as you introduce the idea that there's infinite Uncle Bens, I know this is kind of a stupid example, but you get what I'm saying. It's just like, automatically, like, our Peter's Uncle Ben just kind of feels less meaningful. I don't know. You've just got infinite versions of a person, basically. If you extrapolate that upon, like, an entire franchise, basically, when anything can happen, it feels like nothing really matters, you know? I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I'm not saying it wasn't fun, though. It's like smashing action figures together. Like, you have so many fun things that can happen. The Ninja Turtles might just pop up. Like, who could fucking say? Hey, Wings Up, appreciate you, fella. Good to see you. Can we get a Wings Up chant? What is this? What is this? No, I like Deadpool, Wings Up. It was a great time. That no spoilers again, but that car scene with Deadpool and Wolverine, that was fucking awesome. I don't know why I jumped on stream and started saying the negative things about it. I think it's because I did actually like so much about it. I was kind of thinking on the way back, like, I know that I could see that, like, there were definitely things that I didn't like, but it's just kind of like reading a Deadpool comic and expecting some in-depth emotional story every time. Like, most of Deadpool's material is very, it's like all over the place fun, basically, where you just kind of want to see Deadpool do wacky shit, and that's basically what the whole movie was. It had a villain that was there, and they did their thing, and it had, like, some overarching connection to the MCU, which felt pretty cool to actually see Deadpool interact with that, even though my knowledge on that whole thing is limited. It was a good time. I enjoyed it a lot. The fight scenes were pretty damn good. The choice of music was awesome. Credit scene was mid. I mean, what are they gonna do? Like, I think everybody just wants to see fucking, like, Batman pop up, or like something mind melting. The thing that already started happening for me was when I got about, like, 3/4 of the way through the movie, I was like, it feels like the only way that they're ramping up the stakes is, like, you're in anticipation of what cameo is going to pop up next. That felt like the main, like, ramp up every time, and I think that gets old really quick. Like, there was some actually pretty cool cameos from this movie. I'm really trying not to spoil anything, that I actually enjoyed seeing quite a bit, especially if you've actually, I can't even say that. Anyway, it's just like a thing that tires very fast, where you're like, if this is the only way we're kind of upping the stakes, or, like, building anticipation, who we're gonna see next, I can't imagine that working for much longer than just, like, one movie, you know? I actually liked the credit scene as well. I actually liked that the credit scene wasn't just, here's another character, or, like, another MacGuffin or something like that. It was actually something that happened in the movie that was it expanded upon, which was really funny. I actually think that was well done. Hey, see you later, Alexa. They did say that this wasn't the proper Deadpool 3, just a fun thing to do and include Hugh. I'd be surprised if there's another Deadpool movie. I mean, I guess there will be. I think he's just going to make appearances now, right? I don't know. It was a lot of fun. Like, I'm not shitting on it at all. I find it, like, annoying that when I walked in there, I heard a couple of people talking already before the movie had even started, and it was like, there's definitely, like, a little bit of an air of, I think people are, like, always look forward to shitting on whatever the next MCU thing is, but when you, like, at the same time, when you sit down to watch it, there is a real feeling of excitement of, like, I don't know, they have built a pretty cool thing. I don't think they always use it to its fullest potential, but I don't know what the fascination is with just, like, blatantly shitting on it every single time. I think it was I think it's cool to see what they do. Like, I'm not up to date with it all, and I won't watch everything, but I'm glad that it exists, with all its faults and everything, you know? They could definitely do more interesting things with it, and I think they could probably carry the overarching story a little bit better, from what I've heard a lot of the time. And, like, all this bringing back actors to play different roles thing, I think that's going to get old really quickly, but overall, I'm glad that it exists. It's fun. It's like a And sometimes a movie in the franchise will it will elevate itself. You know, they're not all the same quality of superhero movie, I don't think. But yeah, it was good. I enjoyed it. It was fun to actually go. I love going to the movies as well, so that probably enhanced it a bit for me. It wouldn't have been as good just watching it in my living room for sure. But yeah, I'm no movie reviewer, but I thought it was pretty good. What can I say without spoiling it about Hugh Jackman? I think, like, he still plays that character like he's fucking 25 years old. I don't know how old he was when he first played it, but you know what I mean? He still brings so much youth to that character. It's like, he's playing an old, rugged version, I know, but I don't know, just his mannerisms and his ability to really, like, get into it is really impressive. I feel like I can barely get into a youthful version of myself most of the time. That guy's like 50 years old. He's just like, he just rips at playing Wolverine. I don't know how he does it. He's a beast. He's a different animal. Anyway, no spoilers if you can avoid it. People want to watch it. You can barely wake up to get on stream. No, I can wake up to get on stream. I have my moments. I just mean, like, man, assuming a character's like he's an intense character. It was really impressive how he does that still. I think that there is a place for silly, fun movies like this, but I think because a lot has been just a cameo fest in the movie, it may set a bad standard for when a Marvel movie just wants to do a character exploration. Yeah, I think they have to reel it in a little bit and focus it in a bit. This felt like absolutely balls to the wall, just like getting it out of their system almost. Like, yeah, that's kind of what I got from the whole thing. I felt like surely after this they get a little bit laser focused again, and they start just focusing on telling a coherent, overarching story. Obviously have cool moments, obviously introduce cool characters and stuff, but let that not be the focus. Let that just be a feature of something that's already good. Because, like, they made so many jokes about, oh, you're going to be playing this character till you're 90, you're going to be playing this character till you're 90, and it's like, man, I don't know. It's kind of, they're bringing all these old people back, and because things weren't working before, but I think they're like, they need to not lose the core of people just want to interact with good stories. They just want to see good stories play out. All of this, like bringing back an old recognizable character or an old recognizable face or actor, that can only last so long. That people are only going to play those characters for so long, and it's only a wild card you can really use once, I think. It's not a sustainable model for the movies. So hopefully after this, it's just like, this was like the acid trip of the MCU, basically. Like, this was just, they threw absolutely everything they could at the wall, and hopefully after this they get a little bit more focused, but God only knows if they will. This, like, it was fun, don't get me wrong, but it was seriously just like, YouTube clippable moment after YouTube clippable moment of like a character popping up or like a, you know, an unexpected cameo or something like that, you know, with really fun action and stuff as well. And as somebody who's loved Deadpool for quite a while, and just the idea of Deadpool, you can't lie that it's super fun to watch. But if they want to tell this multi-movie, multi-TV show story, the only way you're getting me on board with that is if I can tell it's like, you have an actual plan that just goes beyond setting up a movie to introduce a certain character. You know, like, it has to go a little deeper than that for me. Which is why I'm like a little surprised I didn't watch the original run of the MCU, because it does sound like it was more than that. It sounds like more these newer phases have gotten into the trap of just trying to have an entire rest of the franchise carried by what characters they're introducing. But yeah, I don't know. It was good. I enjoyed it a lot.
Good morning, Vietnam.
Thanks for the 100 there, lols. yeah, trying to ramble about this movie without actually directly talking about it is tough. But bottom line, enjoyed it. Really fun to see in the cinema. And yeah, this just felt like their get it out of their system moment in the best way possible. Man. Oh, I can't talk about what my favorite thing about it was, but I can spoil that there was a Hugh Jackman shirtless scene. Yes, I can say that. I can say that. Lols, dude, thank you for the sub, fella. What the heck is going on here? Appreciate you, fella. Man, yeah, is it a cinema movie? I think it is. It was cool to be in the atmosphere with everybody. I didn't see Endgame in cinemas. I didn't see Infinity War in cinemas. I think that's another really cool thing about the MCU as well. Like, I don't know. I feel like this franchise has so many fans, but people also are like so eager to shit on every part of it. Like, something comes out and everybody just wants to like movie critic their way to expressing how much they think it's just corporate slop, right? And there is an element of that for sure. They are fully cognizant of how much of a moneymaker this is. But movie franchises and superhero franchises have done that forever, right? There's an atmosphere when you go in to watch a movie like that where like everybody is excited to see it for whatever reason. Like, be it to see a character that see an actor or that's playing a character again after a certain amount of time, or just to see like what the next step is in the overarching story, whatever. There's a buzz in the cinema that is really cool to sort of actually be a part of for once. And I think that's a part of what people really love about it as well. You can tell most people in there are fans to some degree. Like, they either love the comic books and they're prepared to be disappointed by the movie, but they love the character enough to be there, or whatever. There's a buzz in there that's kind of hard to replicate. And I wonder what that would have been like with Endgame. It does make me a little sad that I didn't make myself a part of that before, because it would have been pretty insane. It was already pretty insane for this movie. Appreciate you, Lemon. Sorry, I missed that. Thank you for the sub, fella. Thank you for the generosity, everybody. Sorry, I'm a bit slow this morning, and my fucking headset broken, so I'm mad. You know I'm about to go Wolverine. You know it's gonna get dangerous. The claws are coming out. I'm going to JB Hi-Fi. They're gonna hear about it. That's gonna be me for the next year's. Is Fantastic Four next year? How fast do they make these fucking movies, man? What the hell is going on? What is this? There hasn't been a next step for a while. We've been on the same step for like 5 movies. That's the thing. That's what I felt with this movie. I felt like they were going to pull something out that kind of made it like a definitive next step. But from my understanding, they didn't really do that.
You
Sorry
have money
if that's
so
a
you can
spoiler.
have PC and buy new headphones.
Hell yeah. Thanks, lols. Appreciate you, fella. You're a legend. What's a good headset that's kind of like comparable to the Pulse, the PlayStation 5 Pulse? Something that I can use with basically anything as well, like compatibility wise. Good sound quality. Maybe a more strong build than whatever the fuck this plastic is. PlayStation earbud. I don't think I'm buying another PlayStation peripheral ever again. To be honest, this Pulse headset I liked for editing. It has like a good amount of bass. See, when I'm editing something, I like to listen through 3 different sounds. So I like to listen through some cheap, like just Sony wired earbuds. They give me more of like an idea of what all the screechy top end sounds
Arctis
like.
Nova Pro by SteelSeries, great headset.
I'm gonna write that down. Thank you, Dom. Arctis Nova Pro. Thanks for the 100 bits too, dude. Where was I going? Oh yeah, so I listen with those cheap ones. I listen with a headset. I liked listening with this headset because it gave me an idea of what all the bass and stuff sounded like, and it was good. And then I would listen through a monitor
Arctis
as well.
Nova Pro with Gamer DAC.
Oh my god, I don't even know what a Gamer DAC is. Thanks for the 100 bits, dude. God, I lose my train of thought so easily sometimes. And anyway, yeah, that gave me a good roundabout quality assurance of the audio, you know. But when using this Pulse headset for the PS5, which mind you is designed for the fucking PS5, using it for the PS5 is like a nightmare a lot of the time. All of like trying to adjust the audio in the party and getting it right, and then the muting system that they had for the headset and everything. It's fine, but a lot of the time I was like, this is specifically designed for the PS5, and it feels like such a fucking pain in the ass to use. But maybe I'm just a lobotomite. I'm not really sure. I got it eventually, but then the fucking actual band just snaps unexpectedly. It's not like I'm throwing this headset across the room. I literally just took it off and placed it on the table, and there you go. But anyway, what can you do? But yeah, whatever the next end game is, I suppose probably I don't know, probably Secret Wars or however they're gonna build up to that. I'm actually kind of interested to see what they do, more so because I think I would have been interested if they actually sort of moved it forward in the Deadpool movie, but I'm kind of interested now that they haven't moved it forward in the Deadpool movie, at least from my understanding, very much. Because I feel like they're almost kind of trying to start from square one again, with just a lot of excuses to, they've got like a lot of comic booky excuses now. They can have basically anyone at any time. Remember the effort to which they went building up to the Avengers when the MCU started? Like, Iron Man 1 to the Avengers, the build-up was so gradual. It was so, like... They went through effort to make sure that having these characters made sense. It made sense for them to end up together there at that moment. Man, the fact that these fucking portals exist where just anyone can step through them at any time... I feel like they just need to drop a nuke on it and reset it. It's very comic booky, it is, but it's like, I don't know, man. There used to be a thing where it's like, you used to get a hint or a whiff that something was coming from a mile away, and I think that was the draw. I think I did watch early on MCU, and I think the draw from me was that there was like a rumbling in the distance at all times, right? Where it was if something was going to be introduced, you could tell they had it planned, because it was constantly sort of being hinted at. It wasn't just things and beings and characters and actors stepping through portals just to be there because it's surprising, you know? I don't know. I maintain that probably Iron Man 1 is one of my favorite comic book movies, and I actually really enjoyed the first Avengers as well. That whole sort of phase I was relatively into. Like Age of Ultron is pretty awesome. Portals really ruined the surprise factor. They were more down to earth is exactly what I was thinking, and I think even with the fantastic, you know, things that are fantastical, things that are like exciting, superheroes, magic, powers, anything can happen. You need to make sure that not literally anything can happen, because it just makes things feel cheap. Like if people can just step through a portal and come and save the day, or create the next big problem with a portal, no more portals, I think, would probably be a good idea. I think that close those portals somehow, you might have something on your hands, I don't know. Because then, even in every MCU movie that doesn't have a portal in it, if I really do start going and watching these when they come out, which I might, I don't know, I'm kind of interested. I'm just going to be expecting every problem to be solved with a portal. I don't know. Like, what if... I don't know, man. It's like, what if throughout the entire... Like, imagine Spider-Man, like, Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. Imagine, like, Uncle Ben gets shot. Sorry if that's a spoiler. I apologize. Uncle Ben gets shot, and you're like, fuck, dude, but what if, like, Daredevil pops through a portal right now, and pulls the bullet out, and then reaches into the portal, and he's like, we need a medic, and then pulls Joker nurse from The Dark Knight into the MCU, and then he fixes him. This is crazy. Get Feige on the phone immediately. I have an idea for him. I think he's gonna like it a lot. It's like what it's just what I'm gonna be expecting every time. I don't know. You know what I mean? And then he blows up the fucking hospital. It's like, what? I don't know, man. I don't know. Thanks for the 4 bits there, Shepard. I recommend watching Batman Cape Crusader. I keep hearing it's good. I keep hearing it's really good. There was some weird outrage about it, but I do see mostly positive stuff. Yeah, I don't know. Just Uncle Ben getting healed by Daredevil and Joker Nurse Joker from The Dark Knight. That would be pretty hard. This reminds me of my biggest problem in No Way Home. Yeah. I heard that was like crazy in that way as well. I still haven't seen it. I tell you what, I'll probably try and start making my way through. I think I'll just start where I was up to. I know it'll be a little less impactful, but I think I got up to Black Panther last time I tried watching the MCU again. Which I recall that being pretty good from what I watched. I don't know. I got tired by the time I got to like Civil War again, I think. And I kind of like Civil War quite a bit as well, but I might try and watch the rest of the original like lead up to Endgame and stuff. And then I don't know. I don't think I'll watch the TV shows and stuff, to be honest. This is the thing. It's just so much of everything. I know, but here's the thing. Sitting down and watching Deadpool and Wolverine, just knowing fucking nothing, I didn't actually mind. There's so much exposition and just kind of like whispers to the audience that this is what's going on, that I just didn't really mind. I didn't really mind not knowing everything. And this is another thing about the MCU that I think might kind of be a good thing that they've pulled from the comic book realm, is like, with comics, there's so many comics that it's very hard to get started with like a new character or something. So most of the time you just...
Alright, I have upset the gold economy further. I go play Shadows of Evil. Goodbye everyone, IZ1 gold, IZ1 farewell.
See you later, lols. Thanks for the 100 bits, dude. That's a Shadows of Evil moment. Good luck with it. I hope you survive all the rounds, man. Thanks for the 100 bits, fella. Appreciate you. There's just like so many comic books out there that when you start a character that you want to read, you just kind of fucking jump in somewhere. And a lot of the time, you're a little confused about mentions of events and character tie-ins and team-ups and stuff, but when you're reading, you're still having a good time, as long as it tells an isolated story of its own that has a beginning, a middle, and an end, and it's satisfying, and there's a character arc, and you're just happy to be there. That's good, right? You don't need to know every piece of lore that's ever happened, and you don't need to have like a full rundown of every event that's ever taken place, stuff like that, right?
The special word on my fortune cookie was chat. Spooky.
Wait, what? Jesus. There you go, Lemons. This chat is important to you in a cosmic way. Thanks for the 100 bits, fella. It just said chat. That's so scary. What the hell is that? That's massive. I don't know. I'm rambling on here about a franchise I don't know a lot about, but that does feel like a very comic booky thing. I remember when I first read I can't remember what Justice League thingy it was, very long time ago, but I was pretty young and I just jumped into the middle of like a massive event. And it's like, you can still get enjoyment out of that if you don't know everything that's going on, because usually they try and tell a somewhat isolated story per volume or something, you know? So it's yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of content being a little confused sometimes. This is what I imagine, like, you get into something like Warhammer, or Warhammer 40k, which I know absolutely fucking nothing about. You get into something like that, and it's like, to know every piece of fucking lore that's ever existed about it, to understand every character connection and whatever, I mean, you'd probably be, you'd have to be watching multiple 24-hour YouTube videos and reading every book and playing every video game and watching every, I don't even know if they do movies or whatever, but you know what I mean? You would have to consume every piece of media, but you don't need to do that to enjoy the franchise, clearly. So, I don't know. I say that I'll try and catch up. What I'll probably end up doing is just watching what looks interesting to me. And as I kind of have for a while, when the feeling strikes, but who knows? I am interested. They kind of get you with the branding, right? Like the Avengers Doomsday, and all of it just sounds so fucking cool. I know that, again, the whole franchise gets criticized a lot, and rightfully so, as just being like sort of cool, recognizable thing slop. But man, I don't know, all of their marketing and all of like, it is very just comic booky.
I got the Gunslinger audiobook. Are you proud?
I'm very proud. The audiobook's actually very good. I do prefer the guy who takes over after the first audiobook. I do like the guy who takes over for the next few books, but first one's pretty good as well. The narrator actually suits the first book a lot, I think. Thanks for the 100 bits there, Dom. Yeah, like, I don't know, their branding, their presentation, you know, it's all pretty intriguing. It just reminds me of, like, it is kind of fun not knowing absolutely everything at the same time as well, because it just reminds me of walking into a comic shop and just seeing so many things on the shelf, and you're just, like, overwhelmed by it almost, you know? I don't know. I think I have a little bit more of a positive slant towards the entire thing because I haven't seen a lot of the slop. Like, I've avoided a lot of the real sloppy stuff. I didn't watch any of the TV shows. I haven't seen, what's the one that gets hated on a lot? Ant-Man and the Wasp. I've avoided pretty much a lot of what just doesn't look interesting to me. And so I still have this relatively positive opinion of the whole thing. Because again, like, I watched fucking Iron Man 1 to, like, Black Panther, I think. So I kind of dodged all the really sloppy stuff. And I thought Deadpool and Wolverine was fun as hell. So I don't know. I didn't force feed myself any of the really crappy looking stuff. Loki sounds interesting to me because of the TVA stuff, Dom. That was yeah, I think that sounds pretty interesting. Loki season 1 and 2 is worth. I forgot. I did watch Moon Knight. I forgot about this. I really like the character Moon Knight. Not a mega fan, but I always liked Moon Knight, right? I went to watch the show. I can't stand the show, I'm sorry. I watched Moon Knight up until I think it's been long enough to say this now. I watched Moon Knight up until the introduction of the one with the suit. What's his name? He's got the actual, like, tuxedo white suit. I couldn't do it. Like, I couldn't do it anymore from there. Yeah. The show was actually Mr. Knight, that's him. The show was actually pretty interesting to me the first 2 episodes. That's the second episode. That's not the second episode. That's not the second episode. The whole, like, that's not the second episode. Is that the second episode? All right, the show's worse than I thought then. I enjoyed when it was just, like, there was, like, the mystery. It must have been the first episode then of, like, him, not knowing what's going on with him, and it was, like, it felt very grounded and interesting. Is that really the second episode? Oh, that show is terrible then. That whole introduction of that character, and then all of a sudden the action just looks absolutely fucking terrible all of a sudden. I couldn't do it. I was like, this is what... This whole show is, like, changed. Again, no hate on Power Rangers. Power Rangers does its thing, but when it goes from, like, oh wow, this is shot really well and seems a little different, to just, like, it feels like a bunch of people in, like, I don't know, like, foam suits sort of just doing loose choreography. It just, I don't know. I'm not dissing Power Rangers, but you get what I'm talking about, right? It goes from really kind of well put together to like daytime TV type of thing. I don't know. And I watched a fair amount of Power Rangers when I was a kid. Don't get me wrong. It's good stuff, but it just kind of gets into that territory. And I don't know. It gets better, I promise. Well, it gets better until it doesn't. It's so, that type of inconsistency, though, is, like, very jarring. And I always liked the look of Mr. Knight in the comics. Again, I'm not a mega fan or anything, but just the general idea is really cool. But it just felt so... I don't know, man. I didn't like it at all. I got to that point and I was like, everything that felt interesting about this show is just kind of like shat the bed now. I don't know. Daytime TV is such a diss. You know what I'm talking about with Power Rangers. You do know what I'm talking about. We all love Power Rangers, okay? Very good. Love that. 10-year-old me ate that shit up. But, like, you understand what I'm talking about. You understand. It's like the ADR is, like, terrible. They're fighting. They're going like, huh. And it's like, when did we get here? Episode 1 was so good. And now we're doing... And Mr. Knight's like fucking pulling a George Fartar Bensonberry the entire time. I don't know what the hell was going on there. I didn't find it very interesting at all. The whole tone just shifted. I don't know, man. I thought it was going to really focus on like the psychological aspect that was explored more in the first episode. And don't get me wrong, the first episode wasn't perfect, but you know, there was, what's his name? Ethan Hawke. Is that his name? What's his name? Yeah, Ethan Hawke. It was interesting. It was cool. It's just, yeah. They went all George Fartar Bensonberry on me, and I couldn't go any further. I just couldn't do it. And to be fair, haven't seen the whole show, so just, you know, this is just random... gibberish. Don't even focus on it. If you love the show, I'm happy for you, but I couldn't continue after that. It would have been better if they stuck with the DID stuff. That was always the most interesting aspect, and it should have been treated more seriously. Man, yeah, I can't remember exactly how those first 2 episodes look, but hey, thanks for
Lego Bruce Man haircut.
Lego Bruce Man haircut. Dude, they're all pretty good. I'd say he doesn't really miss a single time, to be honest. If you're talking about everybody's haircut, I mean, all you have to do is look at Nightwing in Lego Batman 1, and you've got your answer there. Yeah, I don't know. You're just not giving it a chance at all. Everything you've said about this show is just wrong or incredibly simplified. That is just not true. Look, if you're watching a TV show, look, I can't criticize the entire show because I haven't seen the entire show, but if in 2 episodes tonally you've completely shifted and not in a good way, that's enough for me to put it down. I'm just not... I want some tonal consistency that actually makes it interesting to watch. That just, again... I'm sorry, Power Rangers, it's all I can think of right now. But we went from, like, this interesting look at this character with a very interesting condition to just Power Rangers all of a sudden. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I'm sorry. Every Moon Knight fan I've talked to absolutely despises the show. That's a great sign.
Please give it another shot. The later episodes are more in line with the first one.
Thanks for the 100 lemons. I want to believe that, but then... After I watched the show, I do remember reading some stuff that people said about how it goes, and it doesn't sound like it focuses on him very much at all, to be honest. It sounds like it focuses on fighting the big bad at the end. I don't know. I don't know. No, they aren't, though. It ends with it's a big CGI boss fight. That's what you want. I don't know. Just wasn't for me, obviously. And I'm fine with that. I'm glad it exists for the people who like it. Like, I just don't have the want to, like, if I am watching something and I don't really like it, I'm not a YouTube movie critic. You know, I'm not going to force it down my throat so that I can give my thoughts on it. I'm just going to stop watching it. I'm not enjoying it. I also don't make posts shitting on it or like definitively shit on it in some official way when I haven't seen the whole thing, because I haven't seen the whole thing. I'm just talking like from a pure enjoyment standpoint. Like, I'll watch something until I'm not really having a good time anymore, and then I don't really have to push myself through any more of it. You know what I mean?
I'm just waiting
it's entertainment.
for Daredevil.
Hey, thanks for the 100 bits, Dom. Just waiting for Daredevil. Hopefully they can have like a... They don't have to do the exact same thing as the Netflix thing, but hopefully they can do him justice the same way. Because I really love the Netflix interpretation. Good trait to have, honestly. I don't hate watch anything. I barely love watch. Like, when I really love something, like, I will watch it. But there's things that I see that I'm sure I will really like, and it takes me a million years to get around to it. And then, yeah. The cinemas is kind of fun for me also, because it just, like, the baseline of going to watch a movie in cinemas is fun, right? Like, so at the worst, I'm getting that. So even if the movie's terrible, you know, you go with somebody, it's fun, you grab some food before or after, that whole thing is like fun. So I'm pretty comfortable going to the cinemas to see something I'm not sure I'll like and try that out and whatever. But in terms of like, especially with TV and MCU stuff that's just so long and it wants you to watch everything, I don't know. Hate watching is so difficult for me. A lot of people just want to hate watch stuff so that they can, like, there's enjoyment in shitting on things, I suppose. I don't know. I barely love watch, dude. That's the thing with the MCU in general, is there's the encouragement to watch everything, but not everything is of the same quality, right? And so when it becomes this, like, to understand the next movie, you will need to watch this, I just feel like they were doing well when everything quality-wise was relatively the same, but you dip your toe in TV and things can just completely fall apart. You're asking people to watch, like, if you've got 6-hour-long episodes, it's just more of a commitment than sitting down and watching a 2-hour movie. You know what I mean? Like, and I think that was maybe a bad move for them. I don't know if the TV aspect is a good idea, but when it was just strictly movies, I think it was way more easily consumable for people. It didn't feel like they were being asked of much to keep up with the story, you know? And all of a sudden you've got 100 hours of content to watch to understand the final movie, and it's, you know, I don't know. It's tough. It's entertainment. Like, I'm just looking to have a good time. So if I don't like something, even if it's like, oh, I'm not gonna understand, I'm just not gonna watch it, you know? That's just that. But I'm so interested in the overarching franchise. Like, I'm glad that it exists. It's just, I don't think it's compatible with how I watch stuff, you know? Yeah, I'm not ever sitting in front of the TV for it to be a chore. I'll tell you that. As soon as it becomes a chore, like, I'm out. I'm not doing it. I'm glad they're kind of slowing up on the shows a bit. Yeah, I think they're really trying to scramble around to get it all back together again. You know? Will you try to keep up with James Gunn's DCU? I am pretty interested to see where that goes. I've been telling myself I want to go and see movies in the theater more, just in general, but I always don't. It's always like a year before I go again. I will at least watch the first couple of things, I think. Similar to how I did with the MCU. Like, I was much younger when the MCU got started, but the whole, like, as soon as it started ramping up, it was, like, very exciting and stuff. I think I'll watch the first couple of things and see what they're doing. I think I am pretty curious, especially just looking outside the movies. You look at how that whole thing has sort of come to be. He did such a great job on the Guardian stuff. I mean, and then he ends up working for the competition. I don't know. I'm just interested to see if he pulls off something pretty interesting. I think they could possibly like give them a little bit of a run for their money over at Marvel if they make the first couple really smack. If the first couple really smack, they're going to be hitting, and I don't view it as a competition like this, but I mean, they're competing companies in the same field. Of course, they're thinking of it like this. It's like MCU is kind of a bit messy at the moment. They're trying to return to form. They're getting a lot of big stuff ready. If the DCU comes in and starts really putting out some slappers, I think some healthy competition would be good. Especially if the DCU is like really focused and they're dialed in and they know where they're going with stuff and the actual stories and characters are interesting. People might see that as kind of like an MCU golden age where things are a little simpler. There's not this like multiversal component. Uncle Ben and Nurse Joker aren't interacting via portals. It could be big.
What's your thoughts on the new Absolute Universe DC announced? Bruce and Diana look cool.
I don't even know what Absolute Universe DC is. Thanks for the 100 though, Lemons. Is that like a animated thing or? It's funny. They're definitely paying RDJ like 3 to 4 times his pay. Yeah, I mean, is that? I don't know how much the movies make a ridiculous amount of money, but like again, is that even a sustainable thing? Like, they better hope that fucking Avengers movies, the next few, absolutely slap in the box office. They got to go crazy. There's a lot of mundos on the line. New comic run? Oh, really? What is it called? Absolute DC. Is this taking over Rebirth? Or is it running alongside? This is so strange. Batman logo is fucking bold. What is going on? Rebirth was 2 reboots ago? Wait, what? I'm fucking behind, dude. I can't keep up with this shit. This is why I read runs, right? Somebody's got a run that sounds good. I go and read the run. I've never been able to keep up. I can't do it. I'll just read like, oh, this writer and this artist are apparently amazing together. I'll go read everything they did, and then I'm good. Besides my loose canon reading of Batman, but that, again, is really just a compilation of runs that really, really worked within the timeline for people. They're not actually official canon put together in that order in any way. There was Infinite Frontier, then Dawn of DC happened for a whole year, now we're in Absolute DC. So this is the official canon at the moment? Absolute DC Batman. Man, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know if it's working for me. If it's this guy with the big logo. What the hell is going on here? He's got some Bill T. Differently thighs too. I don't know what's happening here. Very strange. I'm worried they're gonna just make Harrison Ford racist in Captain. Wait, where did this come from? What the hell? what? How did we get here? The hell is going on here? What happened with Harrison Ford? What is going on? He's usually fighting the racists. What's happening? What happened to Imbi Amber? Dude. Yeah, this Absolute Batman's funky looking. Yeah, man, honestly, keeping up with stuff is not my... Keeping up with whatever current run there is never really been something I've done. I remember trying to, like, when Rebirth came out, and it was relatively new, I tried to, but I just felt like... I don't know, I like what I do, where I just read just whatever sounds interesting. The limited condensed stories, and if there's a team up that sounds particularly interesting, maybe I just go and read that and concede a little bit of you know, I'll be a little confused, and that's fine. I don't really mind too much. I do appreciate that people can read the whole running canon of something, and it's like, I'm sure that's really interesting, but I also really like to just buy comics. I love having physicals. I don't really like reading digitally, and so there's like a lot to buy if you're reading absolutely everything. The entire canon that I've actually been interested in reading is the Hellboy canon, because it's one universe, and there's basically like, it's a very, very easy to understand reading order that's kind of just, there's no retcons as far as I know. Everything that was written and put out is in the canon. It's solidified, it's there, it hasn't been changed. There haven't been any portals or Joker nurses healing Uncle Ben's. It's really simple. And I'm interested in reading that because it's just one cohesive block of world, basically. And that just sounds so appealing to me. There's like, that just sounds beautiful. Just give me the block, and I'll just nibble away at the block, and I don't have to go searching for other blocks or question if this block is canon. It's beautiful stuff. It's also why Invincible is so attractive to me as well. Because again, it's just like, as far as I know, you just read the Invincible stuff and you're good, basically. New Ultimate Spider-Man's good. I heard that was good. God, I've been rambling for way longer than I expected to today. I am going to search for a new headset. I think today will be the main goal. Yeah, wish me luck. This one isn't broken, but it's probably going to get to a point where that crack just keeps on cracking. And it'll be unusable at some point, probably. So, should probably sort another one out. R.I.P. Lego City Undercover. We'll live. It's only been a couple of days. Chase McCain's fine. I'm sure he's planting evidence on unsuspecting suspects as we speak. He you know, he'll be fine without us for a couple of days. All right, I'm gonna head out. Thanks for listening to my incoherent ramble. I'm sorry if I disparaged your favorite piece of media in any way. That was not my intention. Spread love and acceptance, please. Look, Moon Knight, I'm sorry, Power Rangers, Uncle Ben, Nurse Joker. I can't believe, look, I was very insensitive today. We made it through with 0 deaths. I'm very proud of us. I mean, that's the usual for us though, right? So far, 23 years strong, you know? Getting cancelled now? I knew this would happen. All right, I'm out of here. Thank you, everybody. Have a good rest of your day. I'll see you tomorrow. I'm not sure if we'll do... Honestly, really, really keen to continue with Dark Souls 2, but we'll see. I don't know. We got to a good area. It was looking pretty swaggy, but anyway. All right. Cheers, everyone. Have a good rest of your day. Thank you for the support as always. I don't think I missed any bits there or anything. No, I didn't. All right, cool. Thank you, everybody. Goodbye.